What is up, everyone? It is Cody here with another fond mini cast here with some news about the annual D23 conference. This would be Disney's annual audience only, for the most part, conference where they lay out all the things that are coming for the next year plus in terms of all sorts of things here. So we're going to look at Marvel and Star Wars, and we're also going to take a look at some other things they have going on, although to a lesser extent as well. So Disney has their hands in many pots these days, as you well know, since they've acquired Pixar and Marvel and Star Wars, and I think there may be more even beyond that. But quickly to some of the things I'm not going to spend a lot of time on today. They had a trailer for the first live action Little Mermaid film, a live action Snow White that's coming out, a trailer for Hocus Pocus 2, which is shocking to me considering how long ago Hocus Pocus came out, but I know it's beloved. Essentially looking for ways to pad Disney Plus, I think, by mining these old franchises in any way they can. Mufasa the Lion King, this is a prequel coming about Simba's father's story. We have Peter Pan and Wendy with Jude Law, not the last we'll hear from him today. That's Captain Hook, another Disney Plus. I don't even know if that's a movie or a show, one of the two. There'll be a Haunted Mansion. I believe this is a movie, perhaps, doesn't say in my notes here, with Jamie Lee Curtis. We have Disenchanted, the trailer to 2007's Enchanted with Amy Adams. This is coming to Disney Plus November 24th. And that tells me Disney, again, is looking for anything they can to put on their streaming platform. They have Marvel, they have Star Wars. People probably would get it for that alone, but that might not be enough to sustain an entire service. So we get a sequel 15 years later of the movie Enchanted. On the animation side, we have Zootopia Plus, a series of shorts coming to Disney Plus. We have a series about Lagos, Nigeria, which I'm going to take a guess is pronounced like Awaju or something close to that. We have Strange World starring Jake Gyllenhaal. This is an animated movie coming to movie theaters November 23rd. And we have an animated musical movie, Wish, which talks about wishing upon a star, coming out in the fall of 2023. We also had some news in here about theme parks. And then lastly here, before we get started on the big two, we have Pixar. The biggest one probably is Inside Out Part 2, coming out in 2024. Riley is now a teenager. I loved Inside Out 1. Subnote on that one. So that'd probably be one we'd be excited to see as a family, I'm thinking. Also a movie called Elemental. And then a movie called Elio, about a bookish kid who makes contact with aliens. And then we have Win or Lose, another animated series coming to Disney as well in the fall of 2023. From 20th Century Studios, we have, what is this franchise? Never heard of this before. Avatar. Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen. Avatar is finally coming out December 16th this year. Again, years and years and years after the original one came out, although it was probably, maybe still is, the biggest movie of all time. We have Avatar Part 2. And if you know your behind the scenes information about James Cameron Avatar, he has filmed Part 2, 3, 4, and 5 almost concurrently behind the scenes forever all these days. Let's hope the tech that he used to make those has held up the amount of time it's taken to make those. So there we go. On the video game front, also here we have puzzle mystery game Tron Identity. There's a pretty cool looking Disney Illusion Island game coming to the Nintendo Switch, which you can play as Mickey, Disney, Donald, and Goofy. That's coming 2023. 90s classic Gargoyles is going to be back, and Gargoyles Remastered. World War II game starring Captain America and Black Panther as playable characters. That's kind of interesting. And then Niantic, which does Pokemon Go most famously, is going to help them release Marvel World of Heroes, which is going to be another AR game, which could be kind of cool, actually. Thinking about how you could just like kind of stumble around and find, Marvel superheroes and have them fight. That could be kind of cool. All right, well, that's not the reason I'm here today. I'm here today to talk about Star Wars and Marvel. So let's jump into Star Wars first, because it's probably a little shorter list on this one. The biggest news, which is not news at all, but the biggest news here on Star Wars has to be Mandalorian Season 3. We left off at the end of Season 2. Mando and Grogu, aka Baby Yoda, were back together again. Mando had pissed off the armorer. She said he's no longer a Mandalorian because he had removed his helmet twice, I believe, once to get through the enemies and once for Grogu before he left. And Grogu had chosen the Mandalorian over the Jedi path. So that's where we kind of left them off. We have the dark saber, which is that black-ish lightsaber sword, probably at the center of what's happening here in Season 3, I'm going to guess, with Bo-Katan, and probably a rivalry happening here between Mando and Bo-Katan to see who's going to be in charge of the Mandalorians. We also have Ahsoka floating around in the background. Perhaps she'll be back here for Season 3. Perhaps she won't. We'll have to see. There's a small teaser trailer available for this one. You can check it out. This will be back, I believe, in February of 2023, so not too far off. I mean, that's a little ways, but not too far off. The next show we do get for Star Wars here is September 21st, which is about a week away by the time this will drop. This is called Andor. And this is going to get its final trailer out just now, released here with D23. Diego Luna plays Cassian Andor, hence the name. And he is going to be in the rebellion against the Empire. This would be 5 years before what takes place during Rogue One's events. Rogue One was a film I really liked, but I don't know if I need this TV show. I don't know if I needed Obi-Wan as a TV show, but Disney is, again, going to try to stretch these franchise basically as thin as they can get to try to put some stuff on their platform. All right, speaking of Ahsoka, we do have a live-action series featuring Rosario Dawson, who seems to just be everywhere. She is Ahsoka Tano, who is basically a Jedi who doesn't want to be a Jedi, I guess, but she's pretty cool looking. She has a very great visual to her and was involved with some of the stories so far, not only in The Mandalorian, but I think she made at least a one-episode appearance on Luke's planet with the Book of Boba Fett as well. So she'll also be coming to Disney Plus in 2023. Another show I'm not sure we needed is called Skeleton Crew. This also features Jude Law, who will be guiding a group of younglings who are lost in space. And there's only a single image of this that was released at D23, so it's not too far along yet, I wouldn't guess. But basically does sound like exactly that, Disney's version of Lost in Space, which I enjoy Lost in Space, both the original black and white and the remake on Netflix. So could be cool. We'll see. If you're into the animation side of things, we have Star Wars The Bad Batch Season 2, which is the spinoff of the Clone Wars, famously. Season 2 is going to start on January 4th, 2023. And that should be well received. I think the first season had a lot of fans to it. I know merchandise for that was all over the place, and it seems like probably was a big hit. And we also have Tales of the Jedi. 6 original shorts, mostly focus on Ahsoka again and Count Dooku, who is just Dooku here, I guess. This is going to come out October 26th, so very soon here. And then for reasons I can't explain, they also have Indiana Jones 5 with some early glimpses as well lumped into this on the site I'm looking at here, which is cnet.com is where I'm pulling some of this information off of. All right, the biggest one, of course, for me always, far surpassing Star Wars as of recent years, is Marvel. And they have a full smorgasbord of people that might interest you here coming up for Marvel Studios. We start with the last big budget box office smash, hopefully here for Marvel in the end of 2022. It is Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. So Ryan Coogler's back again. He showed the crowd in attendance at D23 some scene that has not been shared online yet, but apparently the new plot details for this say that with the death of King T'Challa, tragically, because again, Chadwick Boseman died in real life, the international community is coming after vibranium, which is held only in Wakanda. We know from the movies as well, but it's going to be up to the forces of Wakanda to defend it. We also know that Namor and the Atlanteans are going to be coming for the Wakandans as well. And so we're going to get Namor finally introduced into the MCU also. So it's going to be awesome. Just awesome stuff happening here. That's going to end phase 4. Phase 5 is going to start with Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. And this will be on February 17th, 2023. So hold off on Valentine's Day. Maybe you can take somebody to this. We got the full cast here. Scott Lang, Hope Van Dyne. That's Ant-Man and Wasp, respectively. Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne. That is old Ant-Man and Wasp, respectively. And also Scott's daughter, Cassie Lang, which she has a name also, I heard, I can't remember, Stinger, maybe? That's going to be in this. And we also have a cameo from Bill Murray, all people, who is going to be joining the cast, presumably in a once-off, but nobody has confirmed what his role will be yet in this film, to my knowledge. And I feel like there's somebody else in this movie also. Who is it? Oh, yes, Kang is coming. Jonathan Majors Kang from Loki will be making the jump to the big screen, and we will see at least one version of him here. Hard to say if this will be the one that ultimately is the Kang the Conqueror, big bad at the end of phase 5 and 6, but we'll see definitely at least some Kang here, which should get people happy as they start to see the maybe light at the end of the tunnel of this messy phase 4 in a lot of people's minds. Maybe now where we get the Thanos-like character that's kind of, the thread that ravels everything together. That would be something that people are going to be excited about. And I'm excited just based on Jonathan Majors' cameo, slash appearance, I guess, in Loki, where he was awesome. So I can't wait to see him play multiple versions of that character. That should be really fun. Next up is the Fantastic Four, which has been a failure. How many times now? Roger Corman's was terrible. We had the 2 originals with Jessica Alba. Those were terrible. We had the newer version that they came out with even after that one, so that was also bad. And they had a director, and then they lost the director, and now they announced here at D23 that WandaVision director Matt Shakman is going to be the official director for the new Fantastic Four movie, which comes out November 8th, 2024. So just over 2 months, 2 years from now. Next up here, we have on May 3rd, 2024, Captain America, New World Order. New World Order. Tim Blake Nelson, who was the leader, or was turning into the leader, in 2008's The Incredible Hulk. I think he had a scene where his head was starting to bubble, and we thought, oh, here comes the leader. And then 14 years have gone by. But presumably he's going to be back, and he will be the villain here as they kind of clean up some of these loose ends they had, scattered throughout the MCU, with this one having Sam Wilson, obviously, as the new Captain America. Isaiah Bradley, who was the Black Captain America that they mentioned the super soldier about in Falcon and Winter Soldier, will be back also, as well as an Israeli superhero named Sabra, who will make her MCU debut as well. This comes out May 23rd again, 2024. I'm excited to see Sam take over the mantle outright and lead a movie on his own. He deserves it. He's been in the MCU for a long time. Speaking of cleaning up loose ends with some forgotten characters, July 26th, 2024, we have Marvel's version basically of the Suicide Squad. The Thunderbolts will be debuting in the theater. We've seen this character, Valentina Fontaine, played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus, in the background of some of the TV shows and movies, but she's putting together a force that will include Ghost, who's a super cool character from Ant-Man and the Wasp, that had the ability to phase through things. That was pretty cool. Awesome power, good visual. Red Guardian from Black Widow, played by David Harbour. We have Yelena, the Black Widow. And then we have Winter Soldier. I'm not sure why he fits in this group necessarily, because he's kind of reformed, unless it is because of this next one, U.S. Agent, who is John Walker, the former fake Captain America, who famously killed someone with Captain America's shield on Falcon and the Winter Soldier show. And then Taskmaster, who was the villain from the Black Widow movie, and is a super intriguing character because they can learn anybody is fighting paths and abilities. I hated the way Taskmaster looked in Black Widow. I didn't mind that they made Taskmaster a female, but I wish they would have kept the like skeleton-like appearance, which was really intimidating, and they went for like a weird metal monstrosity in the movie. So it's kind of interesting. We have two characters here, Winter Soldier and US Agent from Captain America and the Winter Soldier. We have our Falcon and Winter Soldier, rather. We have Red Guardian, Yelena, and Taskmaster from Black Widow, and then also Ghost. So this is a real hodgepodge of kind of A and B characters together here, but should be a lot of fun. So it makes me wonder what the plot's going to be. They'll probably be going in on some mission, either deemed too dangerous and maybe they're expendable, or maybe it's illegal and we can't have heroes associated with that. But that should be a fun ride, I think, regardless. All right, then we had a trailer released at D23, which I don't believe has been online yet, for the Marvels. This is Kamala Khan and Monica Rambeau and Carol Danvers, aka Miss Captain Marvel. And this clip apparently just showed them all fighting, but this will be July 28th, 2023. I like Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers. I know some people do not out there for whatever reason, if it's Brie Larson that's polarizing, or the role, or if it's just stupid prejudice. I don't really know, but I think she's a lot of fun. I think she's quirky and funny and, good looking too. And then Kamala Khan is just in her own TV show a bit ago here, Ms. Marvel. That was pretty cool. And then Monica Rambeau probably will be either named Photon or Pulse or other names she has, but she was in WandaVision. She gained power. Her eyes turned, I think, blue when she went through the hex energy from Wanda that was holding the town together. So that could be a fun movie as well. Now, the last movie I have listed here before we talk about a couple TV shows is stupidly one of the most excited ones for me. And this is going to be coming out soon, October 7th on Disney Plus. There's a trailer online, the official trailer. Stop and check it out. You'll notice this is different right away because when you watch the trailer, it says Marvel Studios, dun, 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 dun. And then below that, there's a new line which we've never seen before. It says special presentation, meaning this film, Werewolf by Night, will not be connected to the larger MCU. It's never going to tie in. It's just a one-off fun holiday special, and I love it. I was excited for the idea of this already ahead of time. Now that I've seen the trailer, even more so. This is done in a black and white, partially campy, partially jump scary, partially horror, Universal Monsters style movie for Werewolf by Night, and it just looks awesome. I can't wait. It looks like there's some mystery and some intrigue, and looks like it's, like I said, a tribute back to those old films. And what a great way they have found, because I'm kind of razzing on them a little bit here for putting out 1,000 movies and 1,000 TV shows, but I'm all for this. They could take some of these, not even B, but maybe C or possibly even D level characters, give them a unique movie, a one-off. Why not? Something that really suits their strengths, and put it out as a holiday special or something, as a special presentation, as they call it here on Disney Plus. Why not? Werewolf by Night for Halloween? Yes, please. This is a character that originated back in the horror comics anyway. They could do this. They could pull out a Man Thing. They could pull out Dracula. They have a lot of scary people that don't really fit into the overall MCU. But this is a great place for them with these special presentations. So super excited. Coming up soon here, October 7th. We're going to be eating some popcorn at my house and watching Werewolf by Night. All right, on to the TV shows here on the Marvel side. We have a few of these. We have Ironheart. This is a character named Riri Williams, who's, in my mind, at least taking the mantle of Iron Man. This will be a tech suit-wearing superhero. This is a female character again. That'll be coming to Disney Plus next year. Not a lot of details on this yet. I heard there might be a trailer out there. If there is, I don't think I've seen that one, so I can't speak too much to that. We will see Ironheart, I believe, in Wakanda Forever coming up soon. She'll be introduced probably similarly to when America Chavez was brought into the Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange. A little similar intro here. All right, the next two our Tide series. And I'm pretty excited for this first one. It's called Secret Invasion, and we're going to bring Nick Fury back into the MCU finally. Has been hiding out for a while, I feel like, in space, or last we saw he was in space. Nick Fury and War Machine, James Rhodes, or Rhodey here, is going to be dealing with Skrulls coming to the planet to invade Earth, but they're not the friendly Skrulls like Talos and his group. These are ones that are hell-bent on some sort of a more sinister reason for coming to Earth. This is fun for a couple reasons. I love an invasion story. I love secret identity, not knowing who's who, so that can be a lot of fun. And then I also love that I might get his name wrong here, but Ben Mendelsohn, I think, who plays Talos. I love that his like disguise in this series is apparently that he can just be himself. So he's kind of fun. It's like when the Hulk becomes Bruce Banner and you're like, well, that's just Mark Ruffalo. It's basically the same thing here. Like he's in disguise without having to wear any makeup. So that's pretty funny to me. So that'll be kind of fun. And then I think that comes early 2023. And then right after that, we have Armor Wars, where we're going to follow War Machine further. And he's going to get a variety of War Machine style armor suits, basically, kind of reminding me of like Iron Man and his Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 42, whatever suits of armor, all the crazy ones he used to have. So that's exciting. Those will be fun. I think those will both be fun. And War Machine didn't ever get a solo movie. I don't know if he ever needed one, but this would be kind of his way to get kind of like Hawkeye, his moment in the sun as well. So I like that. I like when they do that for some of these characters that have been around and just haven't been explored. It's a cool way to do that. And we're rolling out some famous storylines here as well from the comics still. So that's pretty cool. Okay, we have just a couple left here, 3, I believe, to talk about. One is Ke Quan, which we discussed a lot when we reviewed Everything Everywhere All at Once, is going to be joining series that has a season 2 coming out, and that is Loki. So he is going to be there. So I expect whatever impact he has in that is going to be awesome. And I'm so happy they included him as well. We saw at the end of Loki season 1, Kang was there, or He Who Remains was the character, I guess, at that point. And that was a hint of what's to come because we watched those timelines branch so much at the very end of that show. And the trailer that was shown at D23, not online, but the people who were there said it showed a bunch of different time periods that were going over. So that should be pretty cool as well. All right, 2 left here. One is Echo, who was a character from Hawkeye, the TV show. And this one apparently has a trailer that they showed as well to the D23 audience with a lot of Native American imagery, which is pretty cool because that's another group, again, that we haven't seen a lot from or of in the MCU. So I like when they explore those little pockets we haven't seen. And to make you more excited about this one, apparently we have both Kingpin and Daredevil, if not co-starring perhaps, but will both make appearances in this show. So I'm all for that rivalry to continue. And those 2 actors just work so well together after their run on Netflix as well. And that brings us to the final TV show, which I just mentioned the star of. It is Daredevil Born Again, coming to Disney Plus. And we're not going to get the usual 6, 7, or 8 episodes for this one. We are getting 18 episodes of Daredevil Born Again. So excited for this one. Of the Netflix characters, Daredevil was my favorite. I thought his show was the best. Punisher was probably a close number 2. But there's just something about the way Charlie Cox plays this character. He did a great job in Spider-Man, did a great job, I presume, coming up here in She-Hulk, maybe airing this week or sometime here soon. He's in the trailer in his yellow suit. And then we also have who knows what here with 18 episodes. Now, Charlie Cox was quoted as saying that this is not a season 4, this is a season 1. Meaning, if you're watching the Netflix shows and expecting this to continue that, I don't think that's the case. I don't know if it'll tie to that or not, though. With all of the, multiverses and everything else now, who knows? That could all be considered canon again, but maybe, maybe not. So lots of cool things going on here. All right. Well, that is going to do us here, I think, with a wrap up of D23. So very exciting. We got a lot of stuff coming up, both in the Disney world and also the Star Wars Marvel side of all this. Lots of good things to come here for the year and years ahead. Particularly excited for Mandalorian on the Star Wars side and maybe Ahsoka after that. And on the Marvel side, poof, take your pick, man. I'm excited for all this stuff. Stupidly by Werewolf by Night, that stands out to me, but I'm definitely going to go see Black Panther at the end of this year and intrigued for a few of those movies next year, particularly maybe Thunderbolts and Ant-Man and Wasp Quantum Mania. So very cool. I'm happy they do this little presentation every year and happy we got to bring a little bit to you all to take a look at what's coming up, all the good things here for Disney, keeping their Disney Plus platform going. Now, if you enjoy our podcast, would you please give us a like, a share, a subscribe, even a listen? Tell your friends about it. Find us on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, Audible. Find us on all sorts of podcast hosting platforms. All right. You can also find us on Facebook and TikTok, and maybe even we'll make an appearance on Twitter once in a while as well. We'll have to see. Till next time, everybody, take care. We've really been hitting our stride here, and shout out to all my co-hosts who do all the podcasts with me. We've really been knocking it out of the park with our banter and rapport we've had with each other on those episodes recently. It's been awesome. I've been enjoying this a ton. I hope they have too. And it's so great that so many of my dear lifelong friends are involved with these episodes with me. So till then, everyone, take care. This has been Friends Occasionally Not Disagreeing.